The Texas sun scorched Brackenville like a wrathful god, melting the QuickMart parking lot into a haze of desperation. Inside, 23-year-old Liam Hart stacked energy drinks, numbed by the monotony of minimum wage, until a trembling woman in a faded sundress shattered his apathy. Clutching diapers she couldn't afford, her toddler's cries echoing like a siren, Sophia wasn't just another customer. She was a mirror reflecting every broken promise this town had ever made. When Liam crossed QuickMart's no-tolerance line, he didn't just lose his job. He ignited a war between compassion and corruption. Before we unravel this storm of secrets, smash that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next. The sun beat down on Brackenville like a curse, turning the asphalt of the QuickMart parking lot into a sticky, shimmering mirage. Inside, the air conditioning hummed weakly, battling the heat of a Texas summer. Liam Hart, his name tag slightly crooked, restocked cans of energy drinks on the third aisle. At 23, he'd learned to tune out the stares of customers. Truckers buying beer at 7 a.m., teenagers sneaking cigarettes, housewives clutching coupons like lifelines. But today something broke through his numbness. A woman stood frozen in front of the baby aisle, her hands trembling as she clutched a pack of diapers. Her faded sundress hung off her frame, and her dark hair was tied back in a frayed ponytail. A toddler in a stained onesie wailed in the shopping cart, tugging at her sleeve. Liam recognized the look in her eyes, defeat. He'd seen it in his own mother's reflection when the eviction notices piled up. "Ma'am," he asked, stepping closer. "Need help?" The woman, Sophia, her name tag read, shook her head, but her grip tightened on the diapers. "I just need to calculate this." Her voice cracked. The total on her calculator blinked. $47.89. Her wallet held 2 crumpled 20s and a handful of coins. Liam glanced at the security camera. Its red light glared back. QuickMart's no-tolerance policy was plastered on every wall, but the image of Sophia's son gnawing on a plastic keychain made his chest ache. He grabbed a jumbo pack of baby formula from the shelf and slipped it into her cart. "Consider it a store discount," he muttered, avoiding her stunned gaze. The checkout line dragged. Sophia's tears fell silently as Liam scanned her items, his fingers brushing hers when he handed back her change. The other customers watched in silence, their usual sneers replaced by uneasy stares. An elderly woman in a floral dress mumbled, "This boy is crazy," but no one laughed. 2 hours later, Linda Marchetti, QuickMart's manager, slammed a security tape onto the counter. Her perfectly manicured nails tapped the screen where Liam's profile was frozen mid-theft. "You think this is compassion?" she hissed, her Instagram-perfect smile gone. "We don't reward thieves here, Liam. Not even for charity." The crowd that had once clapped for his firing now murmured approval. Liam shouldered his backpack, nausea rising as he caught Sophia's face in the parking lot. Her silent apology, the way she clutched her son like a shield. Kindness, he thought, is a grenade. Pull the pin and everyone scatters. The sun had dipped below the horizon, leaving Brackenville bathed in the sickly glow of neon signs. Liam stuffed his belongings into a cardboard box. Photos of his late father, a cracked phone charger, a half-empty bottle of aspirin. The QuickMart's fluorescent lights buzzed like angry wasps. Linda stood by the door, arms crossed, her crimson nails drumming against her forearm. "You could have been something, Liam," she said, voice saccharine but eyes cold. "But you chose to play the martyr." Outside, the parking lot reeked of burnt rubber and regret. A group of teenagers loitered near the dumpster, vaping and snickering. One of them, a boy with a Confederate flag patch on his backpack, spat at Liam's feet. "Real hero, huh? Stealing diapers for some junkie mom." Liam kept walking. The town's hypocrisy festered like an open wound. At the Baptist church, Pastor Michaels preached about loving thy neighbor, while his wife organized boycotts against the Latino-owned taqueria. Old Mrs. Callahan, who'd clucked her tongue at Sophia, hosted charity auctions, where bids went to whitewashing the high school scandals. And Linda, queen of Instagram hashtags like #CommunityFirst, had fired him faster than it took to microwave a frozen burrito. That night, the local news aired a segment about the QuickMart incident. A reporter stood in front of the store, her smile blinding. Residents debate, is altruism a virtue or a threat to law and order? A clip played of a man in a John Deere hat. That kid crossed a line. Rules exist for a reason. Cut to a woman in a MAGA shirt. Next thing you know, they'll be robbing us in broad daylight. Liam threw his remote at the TV. The screen cracked, mirroring the fissures in his faith in Brackenville. 3 days later, the diner's bell jingled as Liam slid into a booth. His former coworker, Jake, a lanky kid with acne scars, glanced around before sliding a manila envelope across the table. "Found this in the back office," he whispered. "Linda's been reporting people to child services. Says Sophia's unfit." Inside were photos of Sophia's apartment, peeling wallpaper, empty cabinets, her son's toys strewn across the floor. A note in Linda's handwriting. "Neglect. Recommend immediate custody review." Liam's fists trembled. The town didn't care about Sophia's poverty or her son's hunger. They cared about order, a performance of morality, polished and sterile. As he left the diner, a black SUV idled by the curb. Tinted windows hid its occupants, but the license plate read Victor Kane. A cold sweat prickled his neck. The storm hit Brackenville like a fist. Rain lashed the streets, turning the cracked sidewalks into rivers. Liam stood under the flickering street lamp outside his apartment, the manila envelope clutched in his hand. The SUV reappeared, its engine growling as it pulled alongside him. The rear window rolled down, revealing a man in a tailored suit, silver hair, a scar slicing through his left eyebrow, eyes like polished obsidian. "Liam Hart," the man purred. "Victor Kane. We need to talk." 2 henchmen in black suits emerged before Liam could bolt. They frisked him roughly, their gloves leaving damp stains on his shirt. Victor's smile never wavered. "Relax. You've cost me a lot of money, boy. The least you can do is listen." Inside the SUV, the air smelled of leather and bourbon. A photo of Sophia appeared on a tablet, laughing at a gala, diamonds on her wrist, a man's arm around her waist. "My rival's wife," Victor said. "Or should I say widow? She's drowning in debt, playing the poor mother to manipulate fools like you." Liam's throat tightened. "Why tell me this?" "Because I need a witness." Victor leaned forward, his voice ablade. "Sophia's stealing from me. Testify she's unfit, and I'll make your life comfortable." He slid a contract across the seat. $50,000 circled in red. The SUV screeched to a halt at the edge of the marshlands. Victor's henchman opened the door, mud and rain clawing at Liam's shoes. "Think carefully," Victor whispered. "In Brackenville, kindness is a currency. Spend it wisely." Liam stumbled home, drenched and shivering. His phone buzzed, a notification from the local news. Child Services removes toddler from neglectful mother. A photo of Sophia's son flashed, a terrified grin, a teddy bear clutched in his fist. He vomited into the sink. The town had devoured him for breaking rules, but Victor offered a way to play by them, to sell his soul for safety. The marshland stretched beyond Brackenville like a rotten lung, its waters choked with algae. Victor's SUV parked at the edge of a derelict warehouse, its windows reflecting the bruised sky. Liam's fingers dug into the envelope. $50,000 glared back, the numbers sharp as Victor's smile. "Sophia's playing you," Victor drawled, lighting a cigar. "Her husband owed me millions. Now she's stealing to pay it off. That child? A prop." He tossed a photo onto Liam's lap. A grainy shot of Sophia laughing in a luxury penthouse, her son nowhere in sight. Liam's chest tightened. "Why me?" "Because you're pure," Victor sneered. "The town's golden martyr. Your testimony would ruin her. And in return," he gestured to the check, "you could leave this shithole. Start over." That night, Liam found Sophia at the bus stop, her son asleep on her lap. She flinched when he approached. "I didn't want to lie," she whispered. "Victor threatened to take him if I didn't play along. You were supposed to hate me." Rain began to fall, plastering her hair to her face. "But you didn't. You saw me. Not the debt, not the lies, me." Her voice broke. "I'm sorry." Liam stared at the check in his pocket. Victor's words echoed. "Kindness is a currency." But Sophia's tears weren't a transaction. They were real. The next morning, Liam stood at Victor's office, a glass monolith towering over Brackenville's slums. Victor smirked, handing him a pen. "Ready to trade your soul?" Liam ripped the check in half. "I won't be your weapon." Victor's smile froze. You think this is noble? The town will eat you alive. They'll call you a fool, a liar, a saint, anything to avoid facing their own hypocrisy. As Liam left, Victor's voice followed him into the elevator. Kindness without power is suicide, boy. The bus stop bench creaked under Liam's weight. Sophia emerged from the fog, her son clinging to her neck like a frightened possum. She didn't speak, just held out a crumpled note. Meet me here. 10 p.m. Alone. I'm not a victim, she said, voice raw. Victor's been using me to bait people like you. The debt, the tears, it's all a game. He wanted you to save me. Liam's breath hitched. Why? Because you're dangerous, she snapped. You make people question their greed. Victor needs to crush that. Her hands shook as she wiped her son's runny nose. I didn't know he'd target you. I swear. A black sedan idled across the street. Liam recognized the license plate Victor Kane. Sophia shoved an envelope into his hands. Inside was Victor's check, crisp and mocking, and a job offer. Security consultant, Kane Enterprises. He thinks you'll fold, she whispered. That your kindness is just another weakness. Liam's laugh was bitter. He's right. Sophia stiffened. What? You don't get it, Liam said, tearing the check slowly. Kindness isn't a weakness. It's the reason Victor's scared. Because even if you're lying, even if this is all a setup, he dropped the shreds into a puddle. I'd still choose to see the person, not the pawn. The sedan's engine revved. Sophia's eyes filled. You're a fool. Yeah, Liam grinned. But at least I'm not for sale. As Sophia vanished into the night, Victor's voice crackled from the sedan speaker. You'll regret this, Liam Hart. Liam lit a cigarette, the flame trembling in the wind. Probably, he muttered. But I'll regret it on my terms. The Greyhound bus shuddered out of Brackenville, its tires crunching over debris from last night's storm. Liam leaned his head against the window, Sophia's words still burning in his ears. You're a fool. Maybe. But the weight in his chest, the guilt, the anger, had lifted. Beside him, a girl no older than 8 clutched a ragged teddy bear. Her eyes, wide and curious, studied the torn check stub he'd absent-mindedly left in the seat pocket. Mister, she whispered, why do you rip this? It's got so many zeros. Liam smiled faintly. Some things money can't buy. The girl frowned as if deciphering a riddle. But what if you need food? Or a house? Then I'll work for it. He paused. Or maybe someone will help me. Not because I'm special, but because they choose to. She blinked, then nodded solemnly, as if he'd revealed a secret law of the universe. The bus stopped at a gas station. Through the rain-streaked window, Liam spotted a newsstand headline. QuickMart hero exposed, fraud or saint? Linda's face smirked beside a photo of him dumping the check shreds. The article quoted Victor. A tragic misunderstanding. Liam's a good kid. He just got played. Liam's laugh was hollow. Played. Like Brackenville wasn't built on performances of morality, on lies polished smooth as river stones. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the bus passed the marshlands. A black sedan idled on the shoulder, Victor Kane glinting under the street lamp. Victor stood leaning against the hood, his scarred eyebrow raised in salute. Liam didn't flinch. He met Victor's gaze, unblinking, until the sedan vanished into the rearview mirror. The girl tugged his sleeve. Are you scared? Terrified, Liam admitted. But not of him. Of what then? Of forgetting, he said softly. Of waking up one day and believing the lie, that kindness is weakness, that people deserve what they get. She considered this, then pressed her teddy bear into his hand. Take Mr. Snuggles. He reminds me. Even broken things can be brave. As Liam's bus vanished into the storm-soaked horizon, Victor Kane's smirk lingered in the rearview. A predator waiting to pounce. But in Liam's pocket, a child's torn teddy bear whispered defiance. Even broken things can be brave. Will Brackenville's hypocrisy bury him? Or will his refusal to sell his soul spark a revolution? The answer lies in the shadows. Stay tuned. The real battle has just begun.